Need financing for a vehicle or financial assistance with late auto payments? Don't have the money to your rent or mortgage? Need financial help with utilities? And also, would you want to receive cash back rewards for paying bills? Visit our friends at financialservicessolutions.com, where you can get an array of packages that will fit your needs, from monthly investments to virtual wallet accounts. You get debit cards, you get an array of services, and you can pick between 4 different packages. Visit our friends at financialservicessolutions.com today. Ladies and gentlemen in the black community, as you see on the screen here, Biden was in Buffalo and he's hugging a little black baby, and you got some black, people around him. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Jim Crow Joe is just, hugging black people. But he's not going to do anything to protect those black people, but he's going to hug them. Now, black people have been asking for an anti-black hate crime bill. And, I think today, shout out to Sister Demetria K. She shared with me a video of Benjamin Crump with one of the family members, speaking about how they would like an anti-black hate crime bill. And it went on Boulay Martin's channel. Boulay Martin sounded no different than Candace Owens. And I've told y'all time and time again, Al Sharpton, Boulay Martin, Joyless Reed, all that little crowd, Tamika Mallory, all of them, they're no different than Candace Owens, because they don't want nothing done for black people. They just want to make sure they lace their pockets. But at the end of the day, they don't want anything done for black people. I mean, Boulay sounded like he should have been belonging on Fox News where he was talking to Benjamin Crump. But black people, you ran out there and voted for Jim Crow Joe. Now, a lot of you said at the time, we got to get Trump out. Trump is a racist. But we have more documented racist, horrible things from Biden, literally on tape. Case in point, let me play a clip for you of, at the time, he called himself Joseph, not Joe. Senator Joseph Biden, back in 1991. I want you to hear how he thought about police beating confessions out of people. He ended up mentioning Rodney King too, but let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Officers, without clear guidance, to do anything other than try to protect us by whatever means are necessary. I mean, I wonder what my friend from California would said if this beating case we saw out in Los Angeles, if in the process of that beating, that person confessed to having murdered somebody. Should it be admissible? If in the process of that beating, I asked that question to my friend. What was the fellow's name? Rodney King. If when Rodney King was being beaten, the guy we saw on television, in the process of that beating, Rodney King confessed to a murder that he did commit, should Rodney King be convicted under our laws? That's my question.
I don't know under those circumstances. I really don't.
See, that's the problem.
The fact of the matter is, the answer is probably no.
Probably no.
Right.
Yeah. I
don't know how the courts would construe that, but probably no.
Well, usually the courts construe beatings, eliciting confessions, as not a good thing. And the reason they do that is we have a proposition about self-incrimination in our country. As a matter of fact, not only usually, always do they construe it that way. But my point is, there would be, assuming somebody had committed a murder, if the police beat the confession out of him, and he did commit the murder, and confessed to it, and that's what convicted him. Now, I wouldn't want that guy going free. I wouldn't want that person going free. They did commit a heinous murder. But the only way we're able to convict him is the police beat him up with a hose. Should that person be denied their constitutional rights? Well, my gut tells me no. Yes, they should be. Hang them. They did it. But why is it that we don't allow those kinds of things to be admissible?
Yes, that's the guy that a lot of black people ran out to vote for. So how is he better than Trump? Seriously, how is he better They had a whole lot of Democrats y'all could have voted for if you wanted to vote Democrat, but you chose the one that got the most racist things out there. That's clearly still out there. Just maybe a week ago, this guy was lamenting about having lunch with segregationists. He recently said that too. And yet black folks ran out and voted for this guy. It's just amazing to me what black folks would do. It's like when they have an R in front of their name, anything they say, oh, you gonna condemn it. But if they got that D in front of their name, you like, I ain't hear what he said. I mean, shoot, he was playing. I don't think he was serious about that. Biden was cool with police whipping up on people. And you know they want to do it more to black people and get bogus confessions because it's bogus. They've been doing that. You look at, what's that police in Chicago, John Burge, and you heard about that secret location in Chicago where they would be taking brothers and beating and torturing brothers to get them to admit to crimes they did not commit. But Biden is cool with that sort of thing. See, you asking Biden for an anti-black hate crime bill, but how would you get an anti-black hate crime bill out of that guy? I mean, that's how he feels, folks. He's faking with you what he's doing now. But he's really not faking because his actions is no different than what he was saying back then because he had an anti-black attitude. And just like he has one now, he don't do anything for black people. This guy haven't changed, and it's despicable that Barack Hussein Obama picked this guy to be his vice president. Out of all the people he could have picked for vice president, that's the one he picked. That one, Crime Bill Joe. It lets you know about Obama too, but Obama was a Trojan horse, and everybody was fooled with Obama. And my thing is, I think what we learned with Obama, a good rule of thumb is if a black politician come out of nowhere, you never really, you never had no traction in the streets. Then the grassroots didn't know who they were. Nobody knew them, but all of a sudden now, white America is propping up this black person and all of a sudden are making such a big deal out of a speech. Because, before Obama ran, he gave a speech at the DNC convention. Oh my God, he speaks so well. He gonna be the next future person or whatever, right? I mean, so you got to be careful with that when you don't know who these people are. They need to have a name recognition, and their background need to be checked with the community. But Biden, folks, feels no different than what he felt back in 1991. We see that. Now, last night, I had a live stream on our the Phillip Scott Show channel, and we had a man that called in. His name was Mike. He was an Asian man. And in that conversation, he admitted to me that, white folks prefer them because they feel that they will, assimilate into white supremacy a lot easier than any other group. Even a lot of Asians themselves want to whiten the race. So it's okay for them to bring home Zaddy. And we see that for sure. But if it's a black person, as they were saying, he was saying, it would be an issue and a problem. You know what I'm saying? So we understand now based off of what, the man was telling me, and I appreciate him calling because, he said he really enjoyed our program. He said he learned a lot about white supremacy by watching. And hey, we need people to come up and be honest from other groups, how white supremacy view them and how their community navigate through that. I'm always open to conversation with any group of people who's willing to be honest in that manner. But this is the reason why Biden and the Democrats gave them all that money. This is the reason why they got that hate crime bill. Now, black people ask for a hate crime bill, and they should get that. And the hate crime bill should consist of three things, people. First and foremost, the first part of a hate crime bill for black people would consist, of course, start off with talking about our history in this country, the discrimination, the terrorism, etc. It can lead up in the end to the FBI statistics, how black people are the number one victim of hate crimes every year has been recorded. Okay. And because of those reasons, black Americans need to be protected. So number one, hate crimes against black Americans will be federal crimes. If it happened in any state, it will be taken over by the federal government. That would be number one. Number two, part of a hate crime bill, they need to create an office within the DOJ Civil Rights Division for anti-black racism and hate crimes. And you should be able to call or report any kind of anti-black racism. And this anti-black racism can be reported in any area. It doesn't just have to be name calling. No, anti-black racism in the banking, anti-black racism in the medical field, anti-black racism in law enforcement, the courts, jobs, etc. Right. And the government investigate, those claims of anti-black racism and deal with them as such. They have to bring, lawsuits, against certain companies, lawsuits against hospitals, etc. Right. Civil cases. And then if it's criminal, then they bring a criminal and a civil case. So that would be number two, that what black people would need in an anti-black hate crime bill. The third thing that black people would need in an anti-black hate crime bill is money. They were throwing out all kind of money to the Asian community, saying that, hey, we need to, in California, they say we need to give $150 million to fight Asian hate. So black people need $150 million, but shoot, black people need $300 million actually, to fight anti-black racism. Okay. New York, for instance, gave $10 million. Well, I believe because black people are the number one leaders of victims of being a hate crime in America, and definitely in the state of New York, they need to give $50 million to black organizations who are out there fighting against anti-black racism. And that would be what we need. Now, Boule Martin had told Benjamin Crump, well, we don't really need an anti-black hate crime bill. I mean, they can just go on and do an executive order or come up with certain rules in the DOJ. You don't have to have a law. Now, let me tell you why. Of course, Boule Martin, if he wasn't on the pay, like if you didn't think he was on the payroll before, y'all got to listen. Y'all got to listen to that. He on the payroll then. I mean, Roland, like say, he messes up his own self. Nobody got to do anything for him. But to that idiot Boule Martin, who is an enemy of black people, don't come to my podcast, my news channel, or anything else. Phil, y'all shouldn't be going at Boule Martin like that. Y'all should be working together. Why would I work together with that? Why would I work together with that? Someone is trying to cut our throats. That idiot suggested that Biden create something on his own or whatever. Well, what happens when the next president come in? You remember when Trump came in and he just started getting rid of things where you got to have it codified in law. That's why we all mention an anti-black hate crime bill. It's because it's codified in law. So the next president can't just come in and just get rid of everything. Right. But Biden is not trying to set up that anyway. You understand? He's not trying to set that up. You asking for an anti-black hate crime bill. He come up with, well, here's a domestic terrorism bill. Nobody asked for that. We want an anti-black hate crime bill. We want the same protections or actually even more protections, because we have been suffering this for 500 years in this country. We need those protections. And we need it ASAP. You understand? Don't let these people tell you what they're not going to do, because you say, okay, you don't have to do nothing. You ain't got to do it, but we're never going to vote for you. That's just bottom line. Well, the Republicans going to get in there. Okay, well, they get in there. I don't care. At least you're not in there. Period. We'll check out the whole political process. We don't want to participate in a system that's rigged against us. Every time something happened to us, you literally taking our tax dollars, and it's benefiting everybody else. It's benefiting Asians, Ukrainians. It's benefiting illegal immigrants. It's benefiting everybody else but the black man and black woman in America. Black folk can't even walk down the doggone street without dealing with some racism, white supremacy. Black people need an anti-black hate crime bill. Don't you let these people tell you, well, hate crimes is already on the books. Hate crimes are already on the books when things happen to Asians too. But yet they made sure to give them something, right? Specifically for them. So we need something specifically for us. I told y'all, we have to get real hostile to the Boule Martins, to the Al Sharptons. I mean, just all these little people that's just for the Democrats and not for black people. We got to get hostile. We got to give them the same energy, backlash, and everything else. Boule Martin, he's not even a black American anyway. So that's why he don't have no loyalty to us. His people come from Haiti. And he know if reparations are paid out, he not going to get any. That's why he been against reparations from the beginning. I don't know. Y'all ain't getting no reparations anyway. He said that. The moment he said that y'all ain't getting no reparations anyway, y'all should have been at his neck. And that's a neck to be at. But y'all should have been at his neck about that. Okay, and say, oh, okay. So just because you won't get reparations, you saying F y'all, let me make sure to screw up anything I can to benefit y'all. Because see, I get my checks from the Democrat Party, right? I make sure I kiss the butt of the white liberal. I make sure I kiss the crack of his feet and everything else. I get my check F the rest of y'all. Because I wouldn't get one anyway because I'm not a black American. I don't come from here. And it's not all Haitians that's acting that way. We talking about him. He has no problem selling black people down the river. Like I said, what's the difference between him and Candace Owens, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson? You know, what is the difference? Nothing is at least Jesse Lee is up front what he's doing. Roland is playing that Democrat. I'm a fool you, but I'm no different than Jesse Lee or Candace Owens. They're all anti-black. I respect people who are anti-black and up front with it. I respect that. But Boule Martin and Al Sharpton and all of them, they are so anti-black. What did Al Sharpton say the other day? Well, we can't just be about our tribe. We got to talk about Asians and Hispanics and LGBT and this and that. Like, that is anti-black talking points. 10 black people were mowed down, and you talking about everybody else except the 10 victims that was mowed down who are black. That's what I'm saying. We have to get at them, man. Black people got to start pulling up on Al Sharpton, pulling up on Boule Martin when y'all see him out. Get them cameras in his face and start questioning him about the stuff he's saying on his show. Like them brothers pulled up on Boule Martin, I think when he went to North Carolina. He was shook when them brothers pulled up on him. That's why he don't really want to be out there with the people too much, because somebody gonna check him. Because he a freaking sellout. And he's selling black people out for money. And he's assisting the Democrat Party in making sure black people stay unprotected and screwed. Benjamin Crump has basically taken the new black media talking points, basically, and I'm glad he did it. Somebody needs to put it out there. I don't mind him doing it. And Boule Martin is the first one against him. I haven't even heard a white journalist, but see, that's what they do. They say, hey, Boule, get out there and shut that down now. We don't want that spreading in black America. Shut that down. Get on there every day in your program and speak against that, because we don't want to protect black people. And if you do a good job, Boule, then we'll give you a little extra butter biscuit. We'll give you some extra hog maws. We'll give you some extra hog head cheese. I know you like hog head cheese, huh, Boule? And, you don't miss a meal. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is the people that we got to deal with. Jim Crow Joe that feel it's cool for racehorses to beat confessions out of people. We got to deal with Boule Martin and Al Sharpton trying to take the conversation off of black people, or just trying to sabotage black people talking about an anti-black hate crime bill. I'm telling you, folks, and those of you who come over here, like I said, I'm calling you remedial at this point. the remedial people that come over here that keep saying the same freaking thing about Republicans and money and this and that and the third. You know, boy, you Negroes love the pocket watch. You love the pocket watch. You don't accept the truth of just what it is. You don't accept the truth because you like being a slave. That's your problem. Well, I don't really care about you per se. You can stay a slave. I care about my people who need to wake up. And this is the only reason I need to do it. I'm doing it to help my people wake up, not you. I mean, you can just go with massa and back on the plantation for all I care. I would have no problem with you being back on the plantation. I think it's a good place for you if they put you back on the plantation at this point, because a lot of you deserve to be back on the plantation. I mean, what are you? I mean, you know the good anyway, the black people. But I'm trying to wake up, you know, the black people that know is something more to it than this, and black people that see the finesse for what it is, and point out all these old folks who's out here screwing black people. Because you notice it's mostly all older people that's screwing black people over. It's not a bunch of young people doing it. It's them. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta put that heat on them, man. We got to put that heat on all of them, especially those in our own community that's screwing us over. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us on the podcast this morning. We greatly thank you for coming here. Make sure you subscribe. That way, you know, when we post another podcast, click the like button. That way, you'll know you can help spread the video in the algorithm. If you enjoy the show, please leave a love offering. That is definitely greatly appreciated. And I know you go to many podcasts and you came over here, so we greatly appreciate that. And we definitely see you next time.